And before starting my webinar, once again, very happy Holi to everyone, those who all are present over here. So I hope I am audible, loud and clear to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Perfect. So as Manas sir said, like this webinar is all about Internet of Things and the next gen technology. Okay. So I will be keeping my focus more onto like what exactly an IoT is and how you can start your career in IoT and what's the future of IoT, right? So without taking any further time, let me just start. And I want this session to be more interactive. Whosoever is present in this session, I'm just showing a very small presentation, right? But I want to be like as a live QA round so that you can actually ask your real time problems, right? So that will be much better. What about you, sir, Amana sir? Is it okay or any other instructions are there?
No. It's up to you.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you. Okay, so just let me share my screen. Give me a minute. Okay, I hope it's visible, right?
Yeah, it's visible.
Perfect. So I'm Siddharth Bhatter and founder of Karkhana, and I'm more into education from last 9 years. Okay, maybe this year is my 10th year of this industry, and I started my journey in Bhubaneswar only in 2014, and with a name like Karkhana, just the reason because everyone who is doing engineering or everyone who is making something, whether it is a corporate company or whether it is a factory, ultimately we all are sitting in a Karkhana, right? So that's the aim where we can at least build something and focusing more into electronics and hardware. My core expertise into that only. So I want to boost this ecosystem and enable this hardware ecosystem. And this year also government of India also tells like we can promote electronic sector and manufacturing in India, right? So just keeping with this things, I am focusing on this. So let's come to the next gen technology, which is Internet of Things and Industry 4.0. And this is obviously not at all a new word of many of you, but again, still many of you are not working on this domain. The reason is very simple. I will let you know. So today's agenda is we'll discuss what is exactly an IoT, why we need IoT, benefits, features, and last but not the least, how we can implement it, right? So I hope many of you know what is IoT, but let me just give you a clear agenda what exactly an IoT is and how IoT can be useful. So before coming to the proper definition or book definition, I can say, let's check out some real-time examples. So whether you are any kind of innovator, engineer, scientist, or whosoever it is right now, okay, or maybe from any branch, maybe from mechanical, from electrical, from electronics, or maybe from computer science, all of you are part of Internet of Things because anyhow or someday you have or you must have wear those Fitbits, right? So nobody tells you like this is a IoT, but yeah, you are a part of that ecosystem. Okay, so the very first product that we are listening from last 2-3 years is smart home automation, right? And all of us are just listening smart home automation, but till date we are not using it because again we are not acquainted for that. But later on, maybe in within down the line 5-6 years, we will use all this stuffs. Then we have Fitbit. All of maximum of you are using, right? From last 2-3 years we have Fitbit in our market, and now within cost of 2,000 rupees or maybe 3,000 rupees, you can easily get it from Amazon or maybe other places, right? Then we have IoT based smart smoke sensors. So generally what happen, the smoke sensors that we have in our offices or corporate buildings or factories or industries, those are not connected to internet. Okay, so if one sensor detects the sound or one sensor detects the smoke, it actually turns on all the smoke sensors. Okay, but with this, you can easily detect the amount of smoke available in the room, and you can even track the record on server, right? Then we have some iKettle. This is a cloud-based coffee making machine. This is Amazon Echo, again a very you can say common among us. Then we have smart diapers. So those who are parents over here, obviously you can understand the difficulty of your baby when they do pee, right? So imagine a smart diaper which gives you an alert when your child do pee or maybe poo, right? So in this case, you can use a smart diaper. You can easily get an alert, right? And the companies like Pampers and Huggies are working on this sector. But again, obviously the cost includes in everything. So if you need something which is smart, then you have to pay the cost, right? Then we have yeah, nowadays we are more of pet lovers than the human lovers. So whenever our pet goes somewhere, right, we need those tracker, and we actually got you can say worried about where is our pet and where it gone. So we can use GPS tracker. Now till date we are only having GPS in uh, cars or trucks, right? But now we have a GPS on dogs as well. Okay. Then yeah, one is Happy Fork. So as a foodie person, I don't know how much amount of food I basically eat throughout the day. So with the help of this fork, actually I can track how many times I am eating. Okay, yeah, obviously it cannot detect what exactly you are eating, but yes, at what time you are using this fork, you can actually track it, right? Then we have smart lightings. So yeah, smart lightings is again you can say bright future of India. Till date, lighting industry is only in yellow and white. Okay, not even in yellow, only in white. So in every offices and corporates, we only use white color LEDs or tube lights. But now the focus is changed. Now companies like Cisco LEDs, Wipro LEDs, Philips LEDs, they are coming up with smart bulbs, okay, which can actually change the color according to the application. So like this, you can use.
Yeah.
Yes. Anything? Anyone?
No noise.
So this is the last product, which is Amazon Dash button. Now nowadays, definitely we are moving towards the fast generation deliveries. Like we need everything in 10 minutes. So we have to open our Amazon app or Swiggy app or maybe a Blinkit app, right? And we have to book the orders. So this is an Amazon Dash button, which is particularly for any particular device or maybe particular dish. So if you say morning you want milk, so you just press the button and you will get the milk. Okay. So this is a very small handy pocket device, but again, it's launched by Amazon and it's a flop model. But yeah, they have tried, and this is not a new one. This is a very old one. Okay, because for how many devices or for how many items you pick each and every dash button, right? It's not possible. So these are some few examples that may you have seen, right? But if I talk about how these all are connected, so we all are the part of ecosystem, which is network, right? So without network, nothing can be done. Either we are talking to each other, that is not possible. You are using mobile phone, that is not possible. Internet of things, obviously that is not even possible, right? So if you talk about the network, so network is nothing, but we are the part of centralized and decentralized communication, including servers, computers, routers, Wi-Fi, hubs, everything, right? So network is necessary for any kind of new gen technology. Okay, without that, nothing is possible. But yeah, we are not here for setting up the networks. We are here for learning about internet and IoT, right? So, right, and this is one of the biggest issues in India till date. Whenever we open internet nowadays, because of the good services like Jio, Airtel, Voda, maybe BSNL somewhere, right? They are able to provide you 24/7 connectivity. But still, in last 3 years, from 2020 to 2022, we have seen the change in the ecosystem where those who are not even online and those who don't know what is the meaning of online, they are nowadays online as well. Okay, the complete education is shifted and comes in the hybrid mode. So we have to understand the importance of internet, and without internet, not even us, even no one can survive nowadays, right? Because coming from payment, coming from booking, coming from Uber, Ola, Swiggy, Zomato, whatever you want, you just get it on the internet, right? So this is one of the important assets. And the companies like Facebook, Google, and Tesla, or you can say Amazon Elon Musk Starlink, they are particularly working on the connectivity part, how they can provide the internet 24/7 without any kind of attenuation between the receiver and the transmitter. So they all are continuously working. Even in Russia-Ukraine war, Elon Musk also announced he will be providing the internet access to the people of Ukraine with the help of Starlink satellite, right? But again, these are very costly affairs till date. Okay, but yeah, later on, sooner, within 5 years or 10 years, it will be cheaper for us. Okay, so this is like ecosystem of internet only, right? Now let's talk about who is actually the players on the backside. So generally, whenever we open internet, these three things are there in front of us. The first is Facebook, who is not only Facebook, who is actually handling Instagram and WhatsApp, right? If you talk about Google, so without Google, nothing is there. I just skipped one thing, which is Microsoft, but Microsoft is in the Windows case. They are actually not in the internet case, right? And third is the services, which is majorly handled by AWS. Now, either you are watching Netflix, either you are using Amazon website, they all are working on AWS servers. Okay, so you have to understand, like the companies like Airbnb or American Airlines, they are even using AWS servers. So internet is generally divided into three categories. First is social network, second is information access, and third is services. Now, out of these three things, we generally use social network 24/7 because we don't know what is the meaning of services, right? But if I give you an example of Google Drive, so Google Drive is a service of Google. Okay, so like this, Amazon is having Amazon Web Services, where particularly for a different type of application, AI, ML, blockchain, game development, mobile app development, or maybe IoT, or maybe any other thing like satellite communication or something like that, you can use different applications from AWS, right? So this is the same way Microsoft Azure is there, and Google GCP cloud is also there. Okay, and many other companies are also involved. Some companies are from India as well, like Tata, Infosys, but they are not providing their services for the public use. Okay, they are completely into B2B, but the companies like AWS, Google, and Microsoft, they are providing the companies into B2C, right? So this is one case. Then if you, yeah, obviously everything ends with the number. So when I say, sir, what's the use of IoT and what can I do in IoT, right? So if you see this projection graph, by 2030, approx 50 billion devices will be connected. Okay, and you will say, sir, how it is possible? Okay, till date we are not having internet, how it is possible? But you just imagine you are having a smartphone, right? In India, with a population of 130 crores, till date, all of you are having a smartphone, because me as a person, me as a tech person, I use 4 smartphones. So you have to understand, if I say 4 smartphone, okay, so the people who are living in a village, okay, they are directly not having a smartphone, but their sons or children are having a smartphone. So each family at least having one smartphone. Okay, so if you are having a smartphone, means you are connected, right? Now there comes other gadgets like Bluetooth headsets, earpods, smartwatch. These three are again a very common nowadays. Okay, you are not even plugging your earphones and using it. So Spotify is one of the website, or like, sir, you can say music streaming website, which is actually tracking what type of songs you basically listen, right? Now Apple is working on one of the technology. I'm just giving you an idea. According to the atmospheric noise, okay, or according to the atmosphere sound, they basically change your music, right? So if you are traveling, or maybe if you something is noisy in the backside, I don't know how they are basically doing it, but yeah, I just saw some article from Apple. They are working on that part. Okay, so this is the way they basically use the technology, right? So if you think in the night time we are not using internet, but after 6 p.m. after our office hours, those 4 to 5 hours, India basically use most of the internet, right? Most. Even in offices we are not using much, but after office, after college, after school, we are the one who actually use most of the internet. So yeah, on your screen you can have a look. Anything left, please let me know. Right, so these all are the devices which are actually connected to the internet nowadays. Next big sector is the healthcare sector, right? I'm already working with one of the company of Odisha uh, for designing their healthcare product. Okay, so that is the next big thing. Okay, so nowadays everything is now connected, and whatever you can imagine, it's already connected. But please don't say, sir, my doors are not connected, my chairs are not connected. They will be connected very soon, don't worry at all, right? So now let's talk about a definition which is in terms of dictionary, you can say. So yes, IoT is not at all an individual unit. It's a set of computers and devices and internet, okay, which are actually intelligent to take the decision by itself. Okay, now intelligence comes in the secondary part, but first, IoT primary use is for collection of data, right? IoT primary use is the collection of data. So in day, how many times I open my door, how many times I switch off my light, how many times I walk, how many times I run. Okay, these all parameters are very useful. According to this, I can exactly say what type of person you are, what's your habits, what's your requirements, what's your desires, what you exactly do, how can you save more money, which type of food you should eat, okay, where you, how much you have to walk, okay. So these type of predictions I can do once I get the data of your body, right? So which enables IoT. Now, the very first thing is IoT, not at all a new term. It was coined around 1990s when computers started. But when I talk about IoT, after 2014, some around 2014-15, IoT came into the market with a boom. Okay, because in that time we are having 4G, right? 4G was introduced in 2015 and 16. That time, chips like semiconductor ICs with the Wi-Fi modules, integrated Bluetooth are coming up in the market. That time, IPv6 is introduced. That time, Geo came in the market, right? So that time, Wi-Fi also came into the market. Okay, so these all factors actually enables IoT. So whenever we think who is actually pushing it, but not only a single person or single company is pushing the technology, it's a complete ecosystem. So we have to understand, if Cisco is saying we are launching Wi-Fi router, so there is a purpose, because maybe some technology is going to come up which actually includes Wi-Fi routers. So now you can say, see in the last 2-3 years, how many Wi-Fi routers are on sale, right? And the cost is not only 1,000, it's 2,000 and 4,000 and 5,000, because we need 5G speed. So companies are giving optical cable, and with the help of optical cable, you cannot use normal router. So you have to purchase those high-end routers. And Jio, Airtel, they are providing their own routers, right? So like this ecosystem is developing. So now, again a big question: if you don't know, or if you know, at the end of the day, everything is related to one thing, which is data. Okay, what I am doing, I am generating data. What you are doing, you are consuming data, right? What teachers are teaching, they are generating data. Whatever you are doing, it's consuming data. So at the end of the day, the game is of only this one word, which is data. Google is not asking you single penny. Facebook is not asking you single penny. Instagram is not asking you single penny. WhatsApp is not asking you single penny. But how they are earning, right? So they are selling your data, right? So you have to understand, if you want to start a startup, let's say, okay, and at the end of the day, if you are generating a data, it can be a user database, it can be a health database, it can be anything. So your company valuation will rise up like a rocket. Okay. So investor never looks like it's just a small side part. Investor never looks what you are selling today. They want what you will sell after 5 years, right? So just imagine like this. Okay. We are not here for making money for today. If somebody is investing, they won't return after 3 years or 4 years. But at the end of the day, once you have the data, then you will be the game player. Okay, without data, nothing. So this should be your goal. And now, how you want to grab the data, that is the challenge that you have to solve with the help of technology, right? So without technology, nothing is possible. Please make sure in your head, either you are a farmer, either you are a billionaire. Okay, without technology, you cannot survive, because the ecosystem is created like this. Either you become a sannyasi or sadhu, but still you need a smartphone to travel around, right? So yes, when I talk about data, so out of the data, information is very much important, right? Out of that particular set of complete data, we need a small information. So what I am doing, what my life, what my personal life, this knowledge is not required for you. But what I am sharing for about IoT, that is actually the actual information for you, right? So you have to be very, very, you can say, particular about the information, and that job is not done by IoT engineer. That job is done by data scientist, right? So IoT engineer aim is to just find out a way how we can generate the data, right? Then this data goes to data scientist or data analyst, who basically filter out the data. And once the data scientist or data analyst filter the data, they pass this data to AI engineer and ML engineer. Now they write an algorithm so that their machines can be trained on those particular data. And again, from AI ML, it come back to the consumer, right? So this is how a small ecosystem is built. In between this, cybersecurity, blockchain, everything comes into this ecosystem, right? So this is a whole soul story. That's why whenever I say industry 4.0, so industry 4.0 doesn't mean only internet or IoT. It also includes blockchain. It also includes AI ML. It also includes data analyst and data scientist, right? So we all are actually in a part of a single ecosystem. Just our position are different, right? So if you talk about Google, so this is a small cloud. At the end of the day, where our data will go, that goes to IoT cloud. Now, IoT cloud is nothing but someone else's computer with a good capacity of internet, power backup, high memory, high processing speed. So you can imagine, obviously, you cannot set up a 5 crore rupees of server at your place, right? So for that, there are companies like Microsoft, companies like Google, companies like Amazon Web Services, IBM, and all these companies have set up their own services where you can just simply go within a couple of seconds. You can buy the space, rent out a space, pay them monthly charges, and you can utilize their services. And without losing your single minute internet, power backup, anything. Okay, your data is, or your particularly technology run. Indian government is now focusing more on starting the cloud services in India. Okay, even Airtel is now coming up with the cloud. Reliance is also coming up with the cloud. So very soon you will have the services from Indian companies as well. Okay, but till date, if you want to invest your time, you can utilize their services. It's available. Amazon is providing 1 year free service. Google is also providing 1 year free service. Okay, Microsoft Azure is also provide 1 year free service for the students, right? So you can avail those services, you can learn those services. And if you are a Microsoft certified IoT developer or maybe any other domain developer, then the salary package is a bit higher, because that's a domain expertise and it's a need of demand right now, right? So this is the whole about, I can say, cloud and all. But the big question, sir, you have completed internet, you have talked about what's the use of IoT. You have talked about the cloud part, but how it actually works, right? From where should I start, right? That's a big question. So all of you are from computer science, maybe from electronics, electrical, or whatever your branch is, right? But at the end of the day, the very first thing that you need is the sensor selection. Okay, which sensor you need or which device basically you should program. Okay, that is the first part. Second, you need sensors, because you have to be very, very selective. Which sensor will help you to get that exact amount of data? Let's say I'm saying I want to track how many ropes I'm doing in a single day. So now you will ask, sir, how can I track the number of rope counts? Okay, so then you have to search for the sensor, right? Let's say how many dumbbells you do in a day, right? Or how many push-ups you do in a day. So how you count those push-ups? So for that, you have to maybe select any sensor which is available in the market. If it is not available, then you have to find the another technology, right? So this is how hardware and sensor merge. Once you finalize these two things, okay, maybe you can say Arduino, maybe you can say IR sensor, LDR sensor, or Raspberry Pi, right? These are very few generic boards which are available throughout the world, right? Then third comes in the game, which is the communication. Now, once I have data, once I have controller, now I want to send this data to my server. Now, how can I make the communication? Let's take an example. I have a smartwatch. Now, this smartwatch, or sorry, this is not a smartwatch. Basically, it's a Fitbit. A smartwatch is different, right? This Fitbit is sharing the data with the help of Bluetooth. They are not having Wi-Fi. They are not having any other protocol. They are sharing the data with the help of Bluetooth. It's coming to my mobile phone. From mobile phone app, it is going to the cloud server. Now, cloud server, we don't know where it is, who is accessing that cloud server, who is maintaining that cloud server, right? Anybody ever tried? Who's the owner of those cloud server? No. Even if you want, I want to download my last one month data, you cannot do that, because they are not giving provision, right? That's because it is a Chinese vendor Fitbit. And in India, I think one or two companies are there, but again, they are manufacturing in China. So no worries. As an electronics person, I know the pain what we are facing right now, because the semiconductor is very high and we are not able to develop a single product, just because if we develop a product of 3,000 rupees, how can we sell it in the market in 4,000 rupees, right? So that's the biggest hurdle going on between us. And because of the Russia-Ukraine war is also, the semiconductor is increasing daily basis. But again, yeah, we have to be very, very dependent on China. I'm not saying this is not at all a bad option right now, because till date, until and unless we are not having a fabrication unit in India, we cannot resolve this issue. Okay. So being a product developer, from wherever you are, if you buy chips from US, it will be more costly. So country like India never go with 1 lakh smartphone, right? There's only 0.1% category of people who actually purchase Apple, right? Rest all are on the 10 to 15,000 bucket of smartphone only. Even I am the person who is only owning 19,000 smartphone, because that solved my purpose of calling. That's all. Rest is my laptop, right? So that is one thing. And last but not the least, which cloud service you use. So these 4 pillars basically help you to make a complete IoT structure. Now, there comes, if somebody is thinking, sir, I am a Java developer or I am a C++ developer. Whatever you are, I am also a Java developer and C++ developer. But at the end of the day, I am doing programming for hardware, right? So if you are a C++ person or C language, you know C language, you can use any controller or any programmer, and you can write a program in C language, right? If you are an application developer, you can design an application in Java, Python, or any other Visual Basic, something like that for IoT. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing. You are also doing the same thing, but my vision is different. Your vision is different, maybe. So we have to align if you start your work in IoT. And again, the future is very big. Okay, it's a $1 billion industry. And because once I start, like I'm making the products for the companies, I'm outsourcing my knowledge. So you can't even imagine how much I charge basically, right? But why I'm into education? Just because I want to drive this ecosystem and I want to train everyone so that they can at least start the same thing. Okay, because creating a wave of hardware is much difficult, not for us, even for the faculties who are there in the college. And we have seen in last 2 years the AI ML wave and data science wave. Everyone is going into AI and data science, but nobody is getting the job of AI and ML at the end of the day. They become a Java developer and Python developer. So we have to understand the importance of current scenario. So that's all from my side. I hope you like this, right? And yeah, thanks a lot everyone for your kind patience and listening to me very carefully. Now I am open for question answers.
Yeah, any questions from student side?
I hope I have not covered it a bit fast.
Yes, you can ask your questions or you can type your questions into the chat box.
Boys and girls, please feel free, because maybe I may meet you physically. Okay, what is AWS service?
Yeah.
Devashish, so basically AWS service, like Amazon Web Service, is a complete cloud, you can say computers, okay, where they have designed a dedicated service. Let's say you want to make a face recognition model, okay. So you just go to AWS and say, sir, my company is making a service for government of India, and we want to track the face of every person. So on AWS service, you can rent out the space, which is having a capacity of that much high amount of processing, and you are programming your AWS server. You're not actually programming your computer, you're programming on AWS server. So that is the meaning of AWS services.
What is RTO?
Can you please elaborate, because RTO has many meanings. So if you can write which RTO you're talking about.
Yes, Soumya Ranjan.
Soumya, if you can write the full form of RTO, it will be much better for me. Because in IoT, it's not RTO, it's RTOS, which is real-time operating system. But I have not heard about RTO in electronics, I think. Yeah. So real-time operating system, I can say, let's talk about your mobile phone. Okay. So the mobile phone is actually not running on your C programming. They are having a real-time operating system, and RTOS, or real-time operating system, basically designed on Linux platform. Okay. So whenever you want to design some application which actually works on real time, let's say your pager, okay, your POS machine, POS machine, where you basically do the payment on petrol pumps or in shops. So those machines are actually working on real time operating system. And for real time operating system, you need to learn about Linux.
Any more questions?
Sir, we would like to hear from you the application of IoT in industry, current scenario of application in industry, and what is the revolution it is going to bring in industry 4.0.
Okay.
If you can discuss over there.
So, sir, if I particularly talk about the use of IoT, so use of IoT is in every industry. Let's take an example, your automation, right? Where your manufacturing plants, I can say. Second is your farming, agriculture. Third is your medical industry, right? And then fourth is your infrastructure. Okay. Then fifth is your law and governance. Okay. So these are some sector where practically IoT is going to be used. But if I talk about only one example, let's take an example of industry, right? So let me just show you 1 second. So we generally use vibration sensor, right? We know what is vibration sensor, what's the use of vibration sensor. So in industry, the vibration sensor we all use, but now you just check it out. This is a device which actually placed on motors. Now in industry, when there is a manufacturing plant, there is always a DC and AC motors. And if any single motor is stopped for a single minute, okay, or single second, it actually hampers your complete production unit. So what we can do, we can use these type of sensors, MEMS sensors, and place it on the bearing of your motors, okay, and we can continuously track the data of those vibrations. If there is something which is ambiguous, spike in that data, so we can easily track, okay, and this is known as predictive maintenance in the industry. Okay, this is also done by Ashok Leyland. So Ashok Leyland is actually installing IoT in their trucks, and what they are doing, they are actually checking, like Indian economy runs on trucks, right? And 24/7 they have to drive the trucks. But if one truck is stopped for a 1 hour or 4 hour or 6 hour due to breakdown, so there's a huge loss for the company, right? Not even for the manufacturer, even for the person who buy those product. Okay, and just imagine you purchase something and it will be delayed by 6 days. Okay, so if that person delays, your production will delay, or next consumer supply will also delay. So like this, even Ashok Leyland is partnership with this company for the predictive vehicle maintenance. So whenever your truck is going to be breakdown, it will automatically give you an alert. Boss, your truck is having a problem. Kindly take it to the service center. So without actual happening, it can give you the direct prediction. Okay, so this is the one example of IoT. And now you can imagine how many manufacturing plants in India we have. Okay, even in Odisha on daily basis, we are having power plants, we are having manufacturing plants. Okay, and coming up on daily basis, I think last week also 2 plants has been sanctioned. So the scope is very high, very high.
Thank you for clearing that up. Thank you.
Okay, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
From a student prospectus, how other than the syllabus part, right? How a student starts focusing on IoT, from where he has to start?
Okay, so sir, see, nowadays for the student, what I can say, knowledge is free of cost. Okay, because if you have Google, you can access anything. Now, for starting your journey in IoT, the very first thing is, in a first year, if you are a first year or second year student, and if you have not started anything yet, I must say, try to work on controllers like Arduino, Raspberry Pi, Node MCU, or ESP32. Okay, because there is nothing like an industrial controller or a education controller. Controller is a controller. Okay, at the end of the day, please don't get confused. If your teacher is saying this is not an industrial level controller, no, there is nothing like an industrial level controller. Controller is a controller. Okay, so start working on Arduino, start working on ESP32, make some projects, small level projects, so that you can at least start understanding what is actually happening behind the system. Okay, once you learn the basic fundamentals, now try to make the connectivity. So you can bring in Wi-Fi, you can bring in Bluetooth. Okay, and then start making the connectivity, start sharing the data, transferring the data to your mobile phone, to the cloud. Once you understand this part, how the data is transferring, then third sections comes the cloud part. Now, either if you want to do the cloud part by your own, you can also do that, or you can bring in someone, maybe your friend from computer science branch. He can help you out initially in learning that. Now, nowadays, as a developer, I'm also a developer, right? I never recommend anyone to design something from a scratch. Okay, if you are not that person, let's say I'm not a computer science person, so I will not waste my time in computer science and hitting my head on the coding part. I at least ask some help from anyone boss, you can just help in my project and make my cloud. Okay. But yeah, if you are into learning and if you really want to learn, you can go ahead. Okay. That is completely freedom from my side. But yeah, for starting your journey, the very first thing is start making some projects. And one more important, sir, I just want to clear why students are not entering into this domain. The reason is because success is very less, right? So electronics is like a mathematics. Until and unless the questions are going on, we will do it. Once there is one question where we stuck, we stop this. In the same thing in electronics happens. So make sure whenever you are working on any hardware, there is no backspace, right? In Python programming, you can simply press backspace and your error will be resolved. So, but in the electronic ecosystem, till date, no centralized platform is there for the proper learning. So knowledge is scattered over the internet and you have to find out from different sources. Okay. So start making some projects from the very first year on Arduino, basic, non-IoT projects. Second year, connect Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Third year, go to cloud, or maybe in second year also you can jump to cloud, and then try to make a complete project which can be actually useful for the industry. I'm not talking about home automation. I'm not talking about agriculture and all. Okay, I know the college level projects, how we are doing and how college students are doing, but just try to make it for a real-time implementation. Because until and unless you will not think of real-time implementation, your project will remain a project. It cannot be converted into a product. Okay, so think of a product and then start working. Because there is also a PCB designing, there is also a firmware designing, and a lot of things come into the game. Okay, it's encryption, security. This thing we never actually talk about. Okay, we just place everything on breadboard and our work is done. But no, we have to go one step ahead and working on PCBs, shaping our product. 3D printing is also there in Nalanda. I have seen like there are 2-3 3D printers where you can actually design your body. So at least try to give those shapes. Okay, then only you will understand the actual crux of product. So that is from my side, how they can start.
Yeah, that's great. I hope the students have learned so many things. And dear students, I would like to share that we have a wonderful Fab Lab in our AIC. And we have 3D printers, we have all the devices, IoT devices available here. You can come and tinkering it out here, right? And for any kind of mentorship, again, we can contact Siddharth sir, of course. And yes, just I hope you all come to the Fab Lab and tinkering all the stuffs that is available here, the IoT devices, 3D printers, laser cutter. Okay, so I hope you all enjoy this session. We have with us our incubation manager, Mr. Durga Prasad Goda, and I would like to invite him for the valedictory session. Sir, over to you.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Hi, Siddharth. Very good evening.
How are you?
Great.
Very good evening, sir. Very good evening.
I'm good. So it's great to have you today on one of our webinar sessions, which we regularly hold this for the innovation community here in the state. And basically here, I would like to also once again congratulate all the innovation club members of the Fab Lab. It's a club of now more than 50 students, most of them being students and innovators who work at the Fab Lab. And we are looking very focused into 5-6 sectors where the scope has been enormously rising since last few years. And as we see Internet of Things as a predominant sector out of it, because whatever automation we are seeing tomorrow going to happen in the industry 4.0 are all triggered by IoT. So there's nothing that has today's innovations or inventions left behind or without IoT. So that's a very important thing. I was just able to look into the slides that you were sharing, and it was great fundamentally to see that something of that sort has been framed out. At the same time, my suggestion would be that please do come sometime to AIC Nalanda, and whenever these young tinkerers try out their luck on devices, help them out whenever you want to, and we can also figure out a few of the interested teams with whom you can sit for an hour or so, and try to help them work out, because we don't just see that every innovator today will be tomorrow a startup or an entrepreneur, but at the same time they will be very valuable resources for any of the industry sector they are joining in. Having the opposite and a very clarified view of what Internet of Things is, whatever position, whatever things they would be doing in their respective segments, this is going to be the real future tomorrow. Even in the coming week, we have this Convergence 2020 Expo in Delhi, where this time it is completely focused upon IoT, AI, and ML, and that's what is going to be pretty interesting. So once again, I thank you all the participants who have joined in for today's session. We will take this journey ahead with a lot many other inputs and informations derived into the place. And thank you once again, Manas sir and your entire team for getting this coordinated. We look forward to more activities on this sector of Internet of Things. And once again, Siddharth, thanks a lot for being there and sharing your deliberation for today's session. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.